If you can hear us now and you're still there, let me know. It does look like somebody's there. Can you can you hear us now?
You can.
Yeah, chat it in there. Yeah, they can hear us. All right. We are going in the right direction now. All right, so we're going to start from the top. I'm Joe. This is Emily. We are the creators of the channel Embrace Today. And we just wanted to do a live stream. This is our first one, obviously. And we just wanted
a little bit of a learning curve here.
We just wanted to introduce ourselves to the people that are watching our channel. What we wanted to talk about today was that we are going to be going on an exciting cruise. This is a cruising channel, so we just want to tell you guys about this awesome adventure we have coming up. We are going to be doing a Bermuda cruise, and then we're doing a side to side. So we're doing a Bermuda cruise, and we're going to go get on a different ship, and we're going to a day after that one and go on a Greenland cruise, which is something we've never done before. We haven't done either of them before, but we've done tropical cruises, lots of tropical cruises. And we also did a huge South America cruise, but yeah. The Greenland one's going to be kind of a whole different animal, because it's not going to be so much swimming based and ocean and beach based. It's going to be more like hiking based, scenery, icebergs and stuff like that. So pretty exciting. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about it. So something that happened to kind of, or what happened to kind of make this whole thing happen, I'm saying happen a lot, was we a few months ago took our first Carnival cruise. We never wanted to try Carnival because we always were under the impression that it was like the party ship. Everybody was going to be, drinking all the time, and it's just a little bit too crazy for our tastes. But we wanted to try it for ourselves, so we took a Carnival cruise a few months ago, and I really, really liked it, actually. There were things I didn't like. There was a lot of partying and stuff like that, but the people were actually fine. They just did their thing. We did our thing, and it was okay. But what I really noticed that I really liked, and I think Emily liked, was the room was particularly comfortable. It was really laid back. It didn't feel there was no judgment going on. The food was actually really good. It wasn't maybe as fancy as like a Princess cruise, which, was wonderful, or a Royal Caribbean cruise even, but it was more down to earth. And I don't know, I really like the vibe. And we were on the Conquest, and I really, really liked the ship. So when we got back from that cruise, we ended up getting Carnival started sending us a lot of promotions, as companies will do. And they started sending us really, really good promotions, really tempting promotions. So we ended up booking this Bermuda cruise. And then, a few weeks later, we got more promotions, and I will let Emily tell you about that.
Yeah, so we had decided we were just going to do the one cruise, the Bermuda cruise. And then about 2 weeks ago, they sent us another offer, and it was to Greenland. And Joe and I both looked at that. We're like, Greenland?
We gotta go
to Greenland. Well, that'd be so cool. We'd love to go to Greenland. And the deal, it was a great deal again, and it's for 2 weeks, which really I think helps if you're able to go on a longer cruise. It just becomes more cost effective to go on a longer time span because, you're paying all these port fees and stuff, and you're paying the airfare to get out there. And so it's all the stuff that gets added on, but the longer of a cruise you can go on, it just makes it seem like those, they get spread out over a longer period of time. So it's a more cost-effective way to cruise if you're able to do it. And so we decided to jump on board, and we decided to do it. It almost didn't happen because we were actually refreshing the Carnival page so much when we were, debating whether to go it, that we apparently jinxed up the system. And
they apparently the system thinks you're booking the cruises if you almost book it, so they actually reserve the rooms.
And so it locked us out because there were so few rooms left. That's why it was such a great deal. And we were kind of on pins and needles. The travel agent said we had to call up, and the travel agent was like, just don't do anything, and I will let you know in 20 minutes if it releases the room back out. And sure enough, she called us, and we were like, yes, we're going to Greenland.
Yeah. Got the deal.
We're pretty excited about that. The one thing is we have to actually drive to a different port to do this. So it was a little bit of a, logistical maneuvering there to figure that out. But we'll get to that. But first we should talk about our plans for Bermuda?
Absolutely, Bermuda is going to be amazing. I mean, we've got snorkeling planned, we've
Yep.
got swimming planned, we've got doing our work. We're gonna be on the Carnival Venezia,
Yep.
and we're gonna of course film a ship tour. I love doing the ship tours.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
We'll bring you guys another ship tour, so
Yeah.
you'll get to see everything that we're finding out about these ships.
But yeah, like for us, a tropical cruise generally, we don't generally book a lot of excursions through the cruise line or anything like that. We've done some things, but
Mhm.
generally it's just like get in the water, get out in the
Yeah.
ocean, get on the beach. We're from Minnesota, so getting to the ocean is a magical thing every time. So grateful every time I get into the water and the ocean. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. And the Bermuda cruise we're really excited about because it actually stays in Bermuda for 3 days. So a lot of the cruises we've done, pretty much all the cruises we've done, you get in the port, sometime around 8, 9 o'clock, and then you got to get out, you get back on the ship and you leave by 4 o'clock. So, I mean, you're there for lunch and, and it's a little bit of an extended day, but it just seems like you hardly have time to figure out where everything's at and do things. If you don't pay for an excursion, you're just wandering around learning what this new town is that you've never been to.
Yeah.
So in Bermuda, we're going to be there for 3 days. We arrive at 8 o'clock in the morning on day 1. Well, it's actually day 4 of our cruise, I believe. And then we have a full day there the next day. And then the day that we leave, we don't disembark until, we don't leave the port until 5 or 6 o'clock, I believe. So we've got a full 3 days there. It'll be really fun to explore. If any of you guys have been to Bermuda and have some recommendations of where to go, we would love to hear them. We do have a few snorkeling spots picked out, but anything you think that's like must see in Bermuda that's non-snorkeling, we probably haven't even looked at that because we're really all about those fish in the water. So so let us know if you have a recommendation.
Cool. So after we get done with the Bermuda cruise, which is a 7-day cruise, 3 days in Bermuda, and the rest of the days are just going there and coming back. But it's from the Manhattan, New York port, which we've never been to. And New York isn't like a huge place on my list of places that I wanted to visit. But since we're there, apparently the port is like across the street from Central Park and just like a mile or two from Times Square. And since we're doing this side-to-side cruise thing, we decided we're going to rent a car. We're going to get off the boat. We're going to rent a car, and then we're going to see how we can walk down to, or maybe take a taxi or something down to Times Square, and we're going to walk a little bit around Central Park, maybe just spend a couple hours in Manhattan and see what it's all about. I just picture it being so chaotic and crazy, and that's just not my style. But when you're that close,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to walk through Central Park and just kind of see what everybody is talking about.
Yeah.
And there's been a million movies filmed there. And
yeah, it would be really fun. And since we're there,
yeah,
it seems like a shame to miss it.
It's such a famous place. And Times Square, I don't need a lot of time there, but just to actually see it with my own eyes, I think we're going to do that. So anyway, the adventure is we go to Bermuda, we get off, we go try to figure out how to look around, try to look around. Sorry, guys, I have to do something logistically here. We try to look around Central Park a little bit, and then we're going to hop in the car, and I am going to dare to drive whatever I need to do in
New Jersey
York City.
Turnpike.
Going to be driving in New York. And hopefully we're going to just quickly get like on the turnpike on the interstate and cruise down to Baltimore, which we've also never been to Baltimore.
Yep.
Honestly, I love seeing new places, but really wasn't on my high up on my list of places to see. But since we're there, we'll check it out.
Mhm.
And we spend the night in a hotel, and the next morning we get on the Carnival Pride to start to head out to Greenland.
Yeah. We are really excited about the Carnival Pride because, like Joe mentioned at the beginning, the first Carnival ship, the only other Carnival ship we've been on, is the Carnival Conquest, and we honestly loved that ship. It was so intricate, and just it was themed to this French impressionistic theme. Which, if you've watched our video, if you haven't, check it out because we go through all the different little secret things that you might not have caught the first time if you're not an art history major. We had to do the research ourselves. We weren't familiar with all these things either. And it's just all these really cool things that are around the ship that you can find. And it seems like the Carnival Pride has a lot of these same things. It doesn't have the French impressionistic theme. It has a different theme, which I've tried not to spoil it too much for myself. I have watched a few short ship tours, but we kind of want to find out and be surprised and, you know, experience it together for the first time.
It's hard to find that balance of how many YouTube videos to watch about the ship that you're going to be getting on before you take the cruise. I like to know what I'm getting into, but I also like to still be surprised when I get on the ship.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find that balance, but we do our best, like everyone, I'm sure.
And I think I've watched more ship tours of the Pride than Joe has, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything that I'm excited about, so I don't ruin the surprise for him.
No spoilers.
But you'll get to see it all when we get back and we put together our ship tour video. But
Cool.
yeah, so Greenland is the destination on the Pride, and
Yeah,
I mean,
go ahead.
yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, so what we've heard is that there is an extremely high chance that we're going to see multiple whales. So this is very cool. I've
only ever seen one whale.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a couple of whales, but from a
Right.
very far distance, we saw like the spouts going up on a different cruise. We haven't done an Alaska cruise, and this will be
Right.
kind of maybe like a similar situation. But yeah, whales and icebergs. That's
Right.
what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, whales and icebergs. So that'll be really cool. And I mean, the water there, because it's so cold, is going to have a completely different color than what we're used to in the Caribbean. And of course, we're not going to do any swimming in that water because it's going to be incredibly cold enough that the icebergs don't just melt. So
I also get like the impression that the ports that you go to in Greenland and Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, this is a 2-week cruise, and we're going to these wonderful places where right now I'm going to let you
you're going to let me pronounce those names.
Try to say the names.
Okay, so apologies if any of you actually know how these are pronounced, but we are going to Nanortalik and Qeqortoq, Greenland.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, so though that's a Qeqortoq. That's got the 3 Q's and no U's. What a weird word. And then we're going to St. Anthony and Corner Brook in Newfoundland, which is actually an island. I mean, it's in Canada, but it's an island of Canada. So that's pretty cool. And then we're going to Sydney, Nova Scotia, which I think is the biggest or most developed town on that list of ports that we're going to. So
well, that's what I was going to say is like these ports, like when you do Caribbean cruises, you go to these ports and there's lots of cruise ships a lot of the times at these ports. There's tons of people piling in. It's a fun, I'm not complaining, it's a fun atmosphere, but I get the impression, and I could be wrong, but I get the impression that the ports in Greenland and northern Canada are going to be less touristy and populated, and probably less cruise ships there. Maybe just a different experience and a more just like more hiking and taking in the nature. It's going to be chilly outside. We're going to have to pack jackets, which that's like not what I'm used to doing when I'm on a cruise. So looking forward to the differences.
Yeah, we've done a little bit of exploring, and it seems like most of the cruise ports actually have hiking trails that are they start right near the cruise ship where the cruise ship docks. So that's great for us because, like we mentioned, we prefer just to self-explore on these towns, and we don't often book excursions.
If there's a really cool excursion, I'm going to get in on it. Although they're like mostly all sold out. They sell out super fast these days. But like you were looking, and it's like you can spend $80 and we'll take you a half mile to where you take a hike, or you can just walk the half mile to get to the hike, and it's like
I'll save the $80 and walk half
and
a
just
mile.
walk and see what you have to see during that half mile. So a lot of the times if it's something like that, we'll just walk the half mile.
Yeah. So somebody's asking here what time of year. We're leaving in a week and a half, so pretty much right now. So we'll be there. We'll be in Bermuda the first week of September, and then we'll be going to Greenland the second and third week, so right in the middle of September. So it's predicted to be chilly in Greenland, but not. I mean, I think it might get down to 32 degrees in the evenings, but it's not going to be like. Well, we're from Minnesota, so it's not going to be in the below zero. Range.
It's gonna be nothing for us. We're used to the cold weather. So if anybody watching this video has done the Bermuda or Greenland cruises, and you have tips on like how to dress, Obviously, I'm not going to bring. I mean, it could be really cold, but I don't know how I would fit like my full winter gear in there. So like I'm planning on like hat and gloves, and like a windbreaker and a hoodie. So hopefully that's going to be warm enough. If you have tips or advice on that, though, what you wear when you do like Greenland cruise or something like that, we'd really appreciate it because we don't know. We've never done it before. If we can avoid making the mistakes, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that there's a possibility there's going to be like huge biting flies and mosquitoes and stuff like that. And to bring a mosquito net, do you guys think that's necessary?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think I need hiking shoes or can I just use my tennis shoes? All these things are going through my head. So I don't know. Yeah.
And we have to make this balance between, bringing the stuff so that we're going to enjoy our cruise, but we don't want to be so much so that we're just overpacking and lugging all this stuff around that we don't need. So if you saw one of our last packing videos, we talk about the only 5 things that you need to bring on a cruise. So, we really do try to keep it, we're not the ultralight type packers. We don't just go with nothing, but we do try to keep it under control.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, we just got a comment that Stella here was married in Bermuda in June. That must have been awesome.
Yeah.
What a cool place to get married.
Yeah.
Did like lots of family and friends join you guys in Bermuda, or was it just a small thing? I mean, I bet that was awesome. I get the impression that the weather is good in Bermuda like 365 days a year. But anyway, congratulations. That's awesome. My hubby love cruising, but can't get away from work for more than a week or two. How do you manage to cruise often? That is, somewhat of a long story, but Emily and I owned a music store for many years. For 11 years, we started it from scratch, and we built up a big business. And at some point, a few years back, we decided that we wanted to travel the world. That was something that we had always wanted to do. We wanted to do lots of cruises. We wanted to just travel, not cruise sometimes. So we actually sold our business and have been traveling and doing the things we've always dreamed of for the last few years.
Yeah.
We probably for sure can't do that forever without making a little bit of money. So we are making videos on YouTube. We have a website. We have that kind of stuff going on. And, we'll see what our future brings. But for right now in life, we are traveling. Yeah. And I totally know how you feel not being able to get away from work for more than a couple of weeks. And that's what kind of made us decide that we wanted to be able to do that, and made us one of the reasons that we decided to sell our business and make it happen. So
owning your own business is really amazing, and we wouldn't regret a second of it. No. But it's also definitely limits what you can do if especially if it's a brick and mortar type of store and not a digital nomad type of situation. So we're trying to get more into the digital nomad business now. So we'll see how that works out.
You got to take your shots in life, right?
Yeah.
And even if you can only get like a couple of weeks here and there, take advantage of it. Yeah. You got to get out and do these things, right? So that's easy for me to say. I mean, there's more that goes into it, but anyway,
Weather was warm, windy, and the water was chilly. So I think this is Stella talking about Bermuda.
Oh, the wedding.
Yeah.
Warm, windy, and water was chilly. Interesting. In June, huh? That's not what I expected.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
We have swum in Lake Superior, so we can handle a little bit of cold.
Really cold water before. Yeah.
But don't want to snorkel in that for too long, for sure. And thanks.
Thanks, Alice. Yeah, that's great. Cool. Well, I don't know. Was there anything else we wanted to add? Grab your book, will you? It's
that's there.
Right. So, but before we wrap this up, we need to shamelessly plug this book really quick.
One of the ways we are trying to utilize our retail experience.
This is just got to give credit where it's due. Emily actually, using software, but like it took a lot of work. Emily designed this word search book. It's got how many?
121 puzzles.
121 puzzles. When you're on the cruise ship and you don't want to be staring at the internet like you do at home all the time, but you still want to just pass the time, just relax. This thing's got word searches that are all cruise related. It was crazy watching Emily try to figure out like 4,000
It is
4,000 words.
25,000 unique words. There's actually more words to find in there, but that's because I did have to repeat a few.
It's a ridiculous. It's hard to find that many words related to one subject, and it is all about cruising. It does get a little bit out there as far as.
I think that they're all pretty close to cruising.
Yeah, it's a fun book, so you can
even learn a few new words, a few new things that you didn't realize were associated with cruising. So.
You can find that in our store that I think is below the video. So anyway. This is our first live stream. It was actually really fun. We didn't know that anybody was going to watch this, and we're actually talking to people.
Comments,
you guys were great. You were fun to talk to. Thank you so much. And was there anything else?
No, thanks.
All right.
Thanks for being our viewers. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Pretty crazy experience. So take it easy, people. I guess we'll see you next time.